Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me? Dear Hannah, Miriam, and Tiago? Hello, I can see a... Yes, great. Tiago says, thank you, Tiago. So we have limited participants, but I hope there will be more coming gradually or in the afternoon session. So first of all, thank you very much for spending the precious 1.5 hours to join us in this webinar. Carla and I have prepared carefully. We hope that by the end of this meeting, you will feel this 1.5 hours well spent. And today's webinar consists of 3 components. Sorry, Pedro, please start recording. Today's webinar consists of 3 components. I will start by introducing the new features and functions of the cCR website. It will take about 30 minutes. And then in this section, I will present the new improvement and cool features. I will also frankly share the elements that are still under developing, the causes for the delay, and the short-term deliverables. Then I will hand the floor to my colleague Carla as the main responsible person for report quality control. She will introduce the procedure and process to conduct report review, upload, and display received information. She will also guide you through a few common mistakes with suggested solutions. That will also take about 30 minutes. And finally, we will invite you to an open discussion. In this section, we have a few listed discussion points, but we also want to provide you a floor where you can speak freely how we can improve to support you and your city. So let's start with the new website. And in this webinar, I will guide you through the new website featuring a few key pages. They are the home, the search, the profile page, and the entity login landing page. So let's start with the home page. And yeah, I would simply drag the web page here to you. And the website is still accessible through the carbon.org, so you do not need to remember any new email address. The city can use the same address to visit our new website. On the home page, a real-time updated statistic dashboard is located on the most obvious place. Please remember previously it was just a picture. It does not update on time, and now whenever you visit this website you can always see the latest reporting result. So here you can find the latest number about registered entity, the number of reported actions, targets, the contribution to the global mitigation goal. We are trying to exploring other powerful indicators such as the connection to the NDCs, commitment achievement rate, etc. So if you have any idea or even matured methodology, please let us know. I see that Miriam and Tiago is online, so if you have any specific sectors relating to maybe building sector or resilience and adaptation, we also would like to highlight them. So scroll down a little, so you will find the definition about the carbon, and then here you will see, I would zoom in a little so that you can have an overview. Under the dashboard, there is a global map containing, can you still hear me? Yeah, okay, because I just hear a noise. Never mind. You will find a global map containing all the reporting entities. The map starts at a global scale with the counting of entities in every region. And by clicking on the number, there's kind of numbers, so let's try Europe here. And or if you do not click on the numbers, if we come back, yeah, if you simply zoom in certain section by clicking this, so either clicking on the number or using the zoom in and out function, you can see the individual entities displayed in front of you, and they are presented by different colors. A yellow dot for local governments such as cities and towns, and blue dot for subnational governments as states and region. By clicking on the individual dot, like here, you will find the reporting entity that is represented with a small summary. It's number of target inventory actions reported. So you can click either by its name or using this little symbol. It will direct you to the entity's reporting page itself. It is loading now. I'll give it a little more time. Come on. Oh, just let me, maybe some updating is going on, but let's do not waste more time here. But in principle, when you click on the yellow or blue dot, it will lead you to the entity page. Let me give it another try. It's supposed to work. So, Randall. Yep, as you can see, now it works. Later, we will go back to the entity page and give you a detailed description. Let's go back to the home page. And under the map, responding to your suggestion, the new website featuring more on the reporting entities. How do they do? Based on their performance, their report, we selected the highlighted entities. And what do they say? We will featuring mayors and their quote, and where do they come from, and what is their focus in climate actions. This section is featuring the initiative it comes from. So currently, we do not have a rule for selecting entities, mayors, or initiative yet. So we are happy to celebrate local government achievement with you. Please contact us if you are aware any cCR reporting entity had a good action, a good performance, good action plan, or any activity happening on any initiative. We are happy to present it here on the home page. That's a nutshell for the home page. Now let's go to the second section, the entity page with the advanced searching function. So the entity page can be visited by typing carbon.org entity or simply clicking the reporting entity button on the top of the page. On this page, you can find all the reporting entities on the global map, again, just global scale, or simply search and to select any specific reporting entity or a group of reporting entities. First of all, you can search city by name and not only by its full English name. If you do not remember exactly how does the name is spelled, it also allows you to type in something similar. For example, instead of Vancouver, sometimes type in Vancouver. And it will also lead me to the similar entities here. We have City of Vancouver, City of North Vancouver, District of West Vancouver, and so on. And this search function also work with the age cases letters that are special English, the English letters that have dot on them. For example, Malmö, Sweden city, you can type in the O with dot above it and find out, or even when you spell it wrongly, you type Malmö, and it will also lead you to this result. However, the non-English letters such as Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Arabic are not yet valid. So do not, I have tried that, so do not try to use non-English letters here. And this is one way you can search city by its name, or you can search and select city by setting down criteria. Click on this filter button. You can choose the action according to its country, choose a reporting entity by its country, by the region, by the number of action, population, and GDP. For example, I want to find out an Africa city that has at least one action. By the way, the selecting number of action, population, and GDP, you can simply pull this bar, the slider, or you can use your keyboard, the direction key, so that you can have a precise indication of number. One click means one number. So if I click on the right direction, you can see the number of action turn into 2, 3, 4. So I want to have an African city that has at least an action, no limitation population GDP, and I want to see them categorized according to the number of inventory. So the more inventory a city has, it will appear on the higher location of the searched result. Then you can see here are my result. You can see the inventory is categorized from more to less, then it is region is Africa, number of action is from 1 to 116, and population no limitation and GDP no limitation. Here is your list of country, and the result is always returned with the full English name of the reporting entity, its country, and displayed on the global map. At the same time, a little summary with the city picture on it if the city presented this picture. As you may notice, we also provide various of social media links, buttons. By clicking on each one of them, the city or any entity can easily share the city's information, the summary, on their social media. Good. Now let's use one city as the example, and we're going to, for example, city of Vancouver. We go to its profile page, the highlight of this webinar. In this page, we had big ambition. However, there are still some designed function under developing as we're speaking now. So please forgive me that for some section, I need to present you with a PPT rather than demonstrating it directly from the website. In general, our goal is to make the entity profile page the place where the city sees the report, track changes, compare achievements. Most importantly, the page itself is a name card city can use to communicate with various stakeholders. Now I'm going to show you how. First of all, the city's entity page can be directed or searched by the city's English name. In this case, City of Vancouver's page is simply carbon.org city profile, and then type in their English name, City of Vancouver. In this case, you can also find Belo Horizonte or City of Bonn or any city. And please notice that this URL code is case sensitive, which means in this case you have to capitalize the C and V. Only by setting rules like that can we differentiate entities with with the same English name. And the entity profile page consists of 3 segments, which is report section that tells you who it is, and the initiative section that tells it where does it come from, what is the focus of this entity, and finally what and how did it do, the achievement section. Now let's start with the report section. And the report section starts with a summary of the city's report. It presents basic entity information such as the logo of the entity. As you can see, City of Vancouver did not submit a logo yet, so it displayed as blank. And the population, size of area, GDP, and the most far-reaching community GG target. And since in the Vancouver case, the city logo is not submitted, I will simply present you with the PPT of a fully reported city, that is City of Seoul, so that you can see how the end result look like. So you will have the logo, all the information, mayor's photo, mayor's name, mayor's political position and its latest quote. Right beside it is the city's geographic location on the global map. And if the city does not support any of, does not submit any of the above mentioned information, in the Vancouver's case, the logo, and in most of the cases, the quote, we will simply do not display this missing information. If all of the above mentioned information are is not submitted, we will simply enlarge this map to fill in this empty space. And then the summary can be zoomed in by clicking at each individual button above there, that is namely target, action, and performance. So let's go back to the website and I will show you how it works. So by clicking at the target button and corresponding to the reporting sheet, all the city target can be displayed on this page, categorized by its tab. That is GHG emission reduction target, renewable energy target, energy efficiency, other mitigation target, adaptation and resilience target. So by opening one, you can see the GHG emission target is presented by a two-liner summary and a graphic. Again, the two-liner with a graphic. And the graphic, the two-liner indicate the value of the target, the base year and the target year and the type, and also the sectors in which the target will be achieved. In this case, this target did not indicate the sector, and unfortunately this sentence is not complete. But in this case, you can see the activity will be achieved in stationary energy, transport, and waste management sectors. And the graphic changes according to the type of the sector. So in this case, if it is absolute base year target, you can see it look like this. And in the case of base year scenario, you can see the bar, it's simply growing up here to indicate it is not compared to the base year level, but a base year scenario that based on a hypothetical emission that will happen on the target year. Here I give you an example on the design page that look like this. Yeah. That is how the base year target will look like. If it is 20%, it indicates simply the target year's emission is 20% less than the base year emission. If it is a baseline scenario commitment, you will see that the 20% is reduced not based on what is emitted in the base year, but how much will be emitted in the target year based on a projected emission growth rate. And now let's go back to the website. In the renewable energy and energy efficient sector, there's no graphic. The target will only be presented with three liners that highlighting the type of the commitment, the value of the commitment, the target year, and the base year. And also the base year consumption or the base year value according to the type of the commitment and the sectors in which the target will be achieved. In this case, you can see the energy efficiency target of Vancouver did not report base year level and the target achieving sectors, therefore the sentence is not completed. For the mitigation target and adaptation target, only a summary will be displayed here, since the city did not report any of them. That remains as empty. Here I would just show you a designed page again. So here for the renewable energy target, the three-liner goes for the name of the city committed to increase the type of target in certain boundary to the target value by a certain year. And then the second liner is the base year value, and the third liner is the sectors it will be achieved. and the same as the energy efficiency target. And finally, for other mitigation target or adaptation target, simply a summary will be displayed there. This also showed us that how important it is to have the city have a complete report so that the city's information can be displayed there with a meaningful sentence. And that's all for the target. Let's go back to the website and let's see actions. And the action and the action plan are behind the action button. Here you can find the name of the action and action plans. It's categorized as action plan, mitigation action, adaptation actions. And in each individual action plan and actions, you can see a picture of this action when the picture is not submitted. And we will use the default picture here. And the link to a supporting document or to actions website. In this case, it's loading there. It's linked to the actions website for more information. And then the starting year, the type of the action, the status of the action, a summary, which you can unfold, and the sectors it covers. So again, if a city did not report all of those information, simply blank and empty space will be left there. And finally, going to the performance section, both community inventory and the government inventory will be displayed here. Currently, we only have the GHG emission inventory. However, we are eager to showcase cities' performance in other semantic areas such as energy, resilience, and mobility. So again, if you have any idea or even matured methodology, please let us know. And now you can see on the right-hand side is the historical trend of certain emission. By move your mouse to a certain point, you can see the inventory year and the emission of that year. And at the right hand side, you can see a ring chart that demonstrates the latest inventory and is split by section as an indicator of the most important emission sources. However, however, now you may find that the one-liner summary is inconsistent with the graphic displayed here. For example, it says City of Vancouver has reported 18 community inventories. However, in here it only displayed 5. This is caused because a city may submit more than one inventories for one inventory year, which means they simply had 5 times report in 2015 or things like that. And currently we simply take the most the largest inventory of that year out based on a conservative principle. However, we will contact you and the city, the ROs and the cities shortly to sort this problem out. Here is the report section, and now we go back to the city profile page. And right under the report section, you can find the initiative section. Here, all the initiative entity participate is displayed with this logo. Requested by WWF, our City Challenge and One Planet City Challenge will be displayed separately with different logos. We're still updating the Our City Challenge and OPCC logos according to the latest request. So now you can see an empty space, but it is left there for the EHCC and OPCC. Finally, the achievement section. The achievement badges are located at the bottom, stressing the progress made by the reporting entity. By now, the Compact of Mayors is the only initiative specialized achievement and requirement. We're open to all initiatives to highlight good performance entities. ICLEI itself is exploring the possibility of appraising reporting entities too. Again, if you have any idea, any selection criteria, please share it with us, either in the end of today's webinar or by email. And last but not least is the login landing page. So let me log out first. A city can simply click login and use their old login username and password, clicking here to visit their login landing page. And in here, still loading, they can see their latest report, downloading reporting sheet of different languages, and participating initiatives, in this case as the Earth Our City Challenge, or the One Planet City Challenge. Oh, please load. And we are also building a landing page for the ROs too. At this stage, it's still at the designing phase. It will include a summary of report from your region, extracting reporting sheets, and a city report. So, and here I'm simply showing while we're waiting for the city page, I'm simply showing a concept design for the RO management page. After logging in, you will see your own photo if submitted and your name and your title, and you will see a summary of number of reporting entities of your region. For Geno, you will see it for all the regions, the entity growth rate of your region, and for Geno it will be for all the regions, and the number and the list of reporting entities and the reporting entities who are member, and you can download the file as CSV file. You can see the population represented and the number of target as well. Download the CSV file, the number of actions reported, and the total number of action, and download all the actions. And in the end, download all the commitment and see your region's mitigation commitment to the global 2-degree goal. And you will have a more advanced but a little bit different search function on your own page. You can either find out the entity by typing its names or specify certain criteria, and then you will download the CSV file for the report of the selected entities. You will also have the right to log in as each individual entity. So if you can log in as the state of Bonn, if you are from the European office, and download reporting entities and check on for them and check their reporting progress. Let's go back now. Okay, the user landing page is here as well. You can see the user's mayor's name, so and the photo. If there's any mistake, they will notice that and correct it. You can participate any initiatives. You can find out the reporting status, how many of each report they have been submitted, and download previous report of the reporting sheet in their own languages, and download new reporting sheet for submitting new reports. We will gradually update the guidance and tutorial material that will be displayed here. That is a nutshell from my side. It is quite packed and tense. If you have any question, you're welcome to raise them in the search section of today's webinar. We are happy to answer all your questions. Now I will hand the floor to my colleague Carla, who will present you the procedure and process of data reviewing. Here you go.
Hello everybody, thank you for joining for today's webinar. Thanks Chance for your presentation. Now I'm going to continue, as Chang mentioned, I'm going to show you a little bit about the process of reviewing the reports that we get either from regional offices or from cities. So first of all, let's look at the whole process in a general way. So it starts like this, no? First one, we receive either offline reporting sheets, for example, to the carbon@iclay.org email account, and that we receive either from cities or from regional offices, as you know, or we have the APIs, such as CDP, ClearPath, or any other that we may have. So those are the two channels where we get the reports from the cities. Then there is a process of validating. And that's the process that we are going to englobe in today's webinar very much in detail, because it's the process that it's the most time-consuming, and also one of the processes that is more relevant for quality in the data and also in completeness. So quality and completeness. At the moment, validating, as you know, occurs for the compact of mayors, for example, that is done by cCR, as you might be familiar with. We are envisioning that in the future there are other teams that will also be doing, will be more involved in this validating process of the data. So, for example, such as resilience or mobility or any other. We will go and see this into the future. Now, as one of the components of the validating process, it's the completeness and quality check. And that is exactly the process that I'm going to show you in a minute. So, as I mentioned, we will receive the offline reporting sheet. Then we will do the validating process. Then we'll have a report with the results, and then this report is going to be improved, hopefully. After the report is improved, then we will upload it, and after that we have to make sure that the report is displaying correctly, no? So that is, in a nutshell, the whole process of the report review. And now let's go to the completeness and quality check that is a part of the validating process. So here at ICLEI World Secretariat, we have developed and chunk leading quality check completeness tool for checking the reporting sheet. And I'm going to show you a little bit what it's composed of. So it's an Excel sheet that we will be using to review the sheet and make sure that none of the data issues that can be reflected in the sheet are left aside because of something that we are just not looking into. So what is the structure of this tool? Let's see. Here we have, in the left we have the sections which will be reviewed. Then we have the items that will be reviewed, the results of this revision, and then the issues and the comments. So the issues, they are tailored in a general way, and they are actually being developed also at the moment, so to be improved and to try to capture the most general notification for the user. And then in the comments, the user will be able to see what is relevant only for their report. So let's now look at each section separately, and you will see that this is not as long as it looks, but that it captures the whole report. Also, first of all, I wanted to introduce to you what is the review of the results. Then you can see and you can relate to what you will see in a minute. We have different qualifications, so to say, of what the result of this review was. So it's either okay if everything is compliant, so to say. It's pending. It can be missing if it's not reported at all, or inconsistent, and you will see how this can be inconsistent. It can be not relevant simply, or the city can be not reporting. Sorry. Okay, so let's go to the beginning. I think you are familiar with the offline reporting sheet. So in the core sheet we have 9 tabs for different kinds of reporting, and we are going to begin with the account information tab. So there are some certain things which need to be reviewed in all sections. For example, the mandatory fields. So of course, I'm not going to be repeating in each of the sections for the sake of time, but I will put them there just for you to see. So in the first sheet is the account information, and we are going to look that all mandatory fields are reported. In case they are not, we will send an observation to the city or to the regional office. Then we also need to see that the general information is consistent. That means that there isn't, for example, a number where there should be a name. Of course, this is also limited by the offline reporting sheet. But or for example that the name of a person is where the name of the city should be. So we are going to be looking into that. Then we are going to be that the coordinates are accurate, but not only that, but also they are precise enough. As you know, we are working with cities and towns, and we require a minimum of 3 decimals of precision. If this is not done, a little town might be misplaced in the map, and this is only not good for the city. No? Then the head of the government term. So when we are looking at the term that is in section 2, we need to see that if this is about to end, we are going to be having this as a note, no? So that we can be updating it regularly. And then the required files, we need that the cities put the name of the file and that they attach it. So in here, cities, they have to report pictures, they have to report logo, they have to report the city picture and the action as well. So that is the first section, that's the account information, and those are the things that we are going to be seeing in that section. Let's go to the next section, which is the profile. Again, first of the things, all mandatory fields will be checked here, and that includes total area, population change, census year, GDP, and other things that are in the offline reporting sheet, and you can look for there for that. But as special things that we are going to be checking is, for example, the total area, the population, and the GDP. How are they consistent? Or how are these numbers looking? So if we see, for example, a GDP that is completely not possible, we are then going to be sending an observation to the city in order for us to have better data. We are going to be comparing the GDP and the government budget, for example. And then also we are going to look at the action plan, what the city is reporting in the profile section of the action plan. We are going to see if the city is also reporting that in action plans so that these are consistent, and also we will ask for the file of this action plan. Then let's go to targets and commitments. Again, here we will look at all mandatory fields, and in targets and commitments also it's especially relevant that all cities correctly they report the targets completely, because in order to have the target meaningful, no? So with the baseline were relevant, and with the value, of course, and all those values that are relevant for a target. Very important, the summary that the city will be reporting needs to be consistent with all the other fields. Sometimes there is a case that the summary that is reported is not saying the same as what is reported in the target later on. So that cities have to take into consideration for reporting. Then cities also need to look at the type and unit and see that they are consistent, because some units can only be used in certain targets, and this needs to be seen. No? For example, in greenhouse gas emissions reductions, the targets a target for intensity. Then cities need to report in tons of CO2 per capita or per unit of energy, but that's only for that kind of target. When cities are reporting with these specific units for a different target, then that's inconsistent. Or when cities are choosing tons of CO2 and tons of CO2 equivalent, that's also inconsistent. It can be only one or the other. Then the baseline irrelevant targets, that's very important that cities report. The sectors, so this can be often not done by cities because they only need to tick, but we are going to be looking that the city has actually chosen the sectors in which the target is going to be implemented. Then relationship to other levels of government, so whether the target is coming from higher level of governments or if it's binding for lower levels of governments. And the year of target relevance to the current year. That means that if the target has a year that has already passed, for example, then we need to ask the city if this target has been met or not. Now let's go to action plans. Okay, so as you know, this is a rather new sheet that we have. And here again, so we will be looking at all mandatory fields that are completed. Then we need to see that the summary and all data that is later given is consistent with the target. Also, we need to see the means of measuring for the action plan. And and the relationship. No, I'm sorry. This was relevant to the target section, so it's just that. Now this is the part. This was yeah. So it's all the summary is consistent, and also in the cases okay, excuse me 1 minute please. Okay, so that was that for all the action plans. Now let's go to the GPC. So again, the same thing, all mandatory fields. Here we have to see that the inventory year is not the same as the reporting year. We are going to be looking into that. And that the GDP that the city and the population is reporting in this tab is consistent with the one that is reported in the profile. Also, we are going to be looking that the total and the sector basic plus in the summary section of the GPC are there. Otherwise, we need to ask the city to report the emissions that are missing in order to get those numbers. And then the supporting documents, which are the emission factors, the global warming potential, and the activity data that was used to generate the inventory. Now let's look at the energy performance. So again, all the mandatory fields will be looked at, and also the inventory year should not be the same as the reporting year, and the GDP and population again need to be consistent with the ones reported in the profile. And the total energy consumption needs to be consistent with the targets. So we are going to be comparing what was reported in the targets if there was any energy related target. So for example, renewable energy or energy efficiency, and looking at the energy consumption when this is applicable also, so when this is reported, in comparison to what is reported in the energy performance. And then the required files, again, names and attachments should be there. The government inventory, here again, all mandatory fields. The year should not be the same. And here we are going to look at how the city is reporting. So one very important thing is the totals and subsectors. So one of them should be reported or both, but they should not be conflicting. So the total should not be less than the subsectors, right? Also, we are going to be looking at the notation keys used. So the city cannot report, for example, non-estimated the whole inventory, right? Although that's not an inventory. So we are going to be looking at that. Now let's go to adaptation and resilience and also mobility data, because we have something just little to check here, which is again all mandatory fields. And we are going to look for the case of the mobility, we are going to look whether the model split is consistent in the shares that they are giving, so that the sum should not be over 100%. Um, Now, in a separate action, as you know, you have the actions. Cities can report their climate mitigation, adaptation, or resilience actions. So here they need to be looking again all mandatory fields, and we are going to be looking at that again. Again, here, very important, the summary. Here, the city can report the summary detailing what is the action, what it is envisioned to do in the action, what it is envisioned to achieve, and how it is envisioned to achieve it. So this summary needs to be consistent with everything else that is reported in the action. The action status and approval year consistent. So that means that we are going to be looking at the time that the action was approved, and then what is the status that the city is reporting that the action is. The budget consistent with the action, co-benefits consistency, and also we are going to be looking if the city reported these co-benefits. Again, this is something that the cities need to tick, so we are going to look at that. And also the energy savings and job creations, whether these are consistent or not with the kind of action that is reported. And the required files, so the names and attachment, and also very important that the attachments contain the action that support the document and not, for example, just something like just a picture that is not relevant. We also need the picture, but besides from that, we need, for example, a whole project or at least an executive summary where this is explained. If possible in English, it's easier. It's recommendable. So that is all in regards to actions. Now, so this is the whole completeness and quality check that we are going to do. After this revision, we are going to generate a report. This is how a report will look in the end, no? So we are going to send only filtered to the regional office or to the city all the actions that were reviewed, so that means all, and with a notification issue. So they will see whether this is inconsistent or missing, so that means it's not reported. And then they will have a general message, which we are trying to make it more accurate and general as possible as for all the problems that are identified until now. But they will also have a comment if the problem that they have in the report it's only very specific. So for example, in this case we had please provide a picture of the current head of the government. That is the general issue notification. But in this case the photo was not facing forward. So we asked the city to please send a photo which is facing forward, otherwise it will not be displaying well in the profile that Chang showed to you. Or for example, in regards to the GPC, the city didn't provide the supporting documents. Actually, they did provide, but not all of them. So we have the general comment, and we also have please include the emission factors used. That is specific for the city. And for example, in regards to their greenhouse gas government inventory, they reported not estimating emissions from municipal fleet in the transport sector and from incineration and open burning waste in the waste sector, and we asked them to report this. So that is what the cities or the regional offices will see, and then we expect that they provide the information to this, or they explain whether when the information is not available, why it's not available, and then only with a new improved report, they will send the report to us, and then we will send it for it to be uploaded. And then we will also make sure that this is properly displaying in the website so that cities can see what they report. Now we are going to go to the frequent issues. What we've seen in this process that we've been doing. So general, for example, we have seen sometimes that cities modify the offline reporting sheets. So this means, for example, they delete tabs. So please ask your cities not to modify the offline reporting sheets. Just have them as they are and complete them. just in the fields where they are allowed to do so. For the actions, for example, please ask the city to copy and paste the action in order to report a new action, and not to have not to copy and paste the tab in the same file. So different action, different file. The supporting documents, many times the cities report the name of the supporting document in the offline reporting sheet, but they don't attach it. Or many times they send a supporting document that is not relevant, that cannot provide any information on the action, or they are incomplete. For example, for the GPC, there is something missing. And then the picture is attached. Also, cities need to attach the head of government photo, the city photo, the logo photo, and an action photo. Account information and profile. So here what we have seen is that many times the general information is incomplete, and this is only not good for the city, because with this information, for example, with the contact information, we will be able to service the city. So it's very important that this information is accurate and updated. Again, here to the coordinates case that I mentioned earlier, not only that they are not inaccurate, but they are not precise. So cities don't report them with 3 decimals at least. And then also it's very often that we see inconsistent GDPs. We think sometimes the city is mistaking the GDP by GDP per capita, and this is not the case. So please be aware that cities need to report GDP, not GDP per capita. Targets and commitments. Many times the units are not right in the target chosen for the kind of targets that they decided to report. Many times the baselines are not there. In the targets where this is applicable, many times we have seen that there is they haven't included the means of measuring. For example, in the adaptation and resilience target. So these means of measuring are all very important, because that's the only way for the target to be measured, and this is set by the city. So then in action plans, we have often seen confusion between actions and action plans. In regards to actions, we have often seen incorrect categorization, for example, type of actions, or inconsistency when categorizing when the action is mitigation or adaptation. First, they are reported, for example, as mitigation, but then the sectors which are chosen are in adaptation. So this should be taken into consideration to compare the type of action that was reported, selected, and then with the sectors that are selected later on. Any kind of question here, also cities, as always, can contact us. In the inventories, the misuse of notation keys. So there has been cases where we can only see notation keys used, and that is not an inventory, of course. Or also problems with non-CO2 gases conversions to CO2 equivalents. Again, here, incomplete supporting documents. So that is in general some of the things that we have seen in this process, but we are happy that you also tell us what you have experienced and where the cities find the most challenges for reporting. We know that also sometimes the data is not available, that we are aware of that, but we are still going to ask when something is not reported. And that is the end of my part. I thank you very much for your attention, and give the floor again to Chan. Yeah.
Hi, so thank you, Carla. As you can see, we really trying to make better use of city data. In doing so, we need to raise the quality of the report itself, and of course, we need to also explore a better way to present them to celebrate the city's achievement. The PPT. The PPT is off. We will provide you and to achieve this goal of improving the quality of the report, we need to achieve it only with your help. How we are going to do that, we are going to provide tutorial material for each reporting sheet. We develop that. We just simply need to update them. And Carla and I will invest more time reviewing all the city reports and get back to you as soon as possible, even though sometimes with the huge workload we might contact you a little later, but we do hope to get back to you always within a month. With the management login function, we try to involve you in the process as soon as possible, even though we still do not have the agenda when can we deliver that login function yet. Even though the website, the process, the landing, the login management function are not yet perfect, we are taking this task and cities report very seriously. So now the floor is open to you. Let us know how we can improve the service to you and your cities. We have provided several discussing points here on the page. You can raise your hands and commenting on any one or several of them, or simply expressing your opinion on other topics, or asking questions regarding our previous presentation. So now the floor is yours. If no one is raising its hand, I will call on names. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Okay, good. Tiago, here you go.
I raised my hand.
Sorry,
Can
Tiago.
you listen me?
Yes, so we can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for guiding us through the website and also the methodology that was created to evaluate the process and to assess the information. I have some comments and also a question. One comment is if you are planning or if it's possible to also link the actions that are reported to the global frameworks, like how this is helping the cities to achieve their commitments with SDGs or the New Urban Agenda or the Sendai framework. I'm sorry if this is being discussed in the between the teams, and if I was not involved so far, or if I'm not aware that this is happening, but this was one question that came through my mind. The other comment that I have is that this is a great work that you did that could help and inform also the new TAP process, because a new application form for TAP was created and cities will be asked to use this new form, and also sometimes in TAP we can find similar issues that you just pointed out during your presentations on difficulties that the cities have to share their information about their TAP projects. So Joe, Flavia, and Pedro, they are developing this database now for TAP. And yeah, the work you did can help us improve also the TAP application form and the way that we will assess the applications. And yeah, those are two comments, and my question is regarding capacity, because when I was working for São Paulo municipality, we had a similar database to track the housing units that were being built throughout the city. So the mayor had a target of delivering 55,000 housing units, and we needed to track how those units were being delivered, if there were problems in the construction, and we had a team of 30 people to do that. And we had weekly meetings with the mayor to report on the achievements of this program, because the media was always asking us how many units were delivered, where they are. So we had a map of the city where you can also click and see how many units that building would have and which were the families that were going to move there. So it was very simple and took a long time. So I would like to know if you have a time frame where you would receive the information, assess it, and then improve it and put it on the website again. Thank you. Sorry for my long speech.
No, thank you. Thank you for your long speech. Let's first address your question. Yes, it is indeed a capacity issue. And we, on one hand, on our website, we will not track the detailed progress and status change of any individual action. As you can see, we simply provide a link to the city's own action page or a document. On that page, local government can choose to display its latest development. In your case, we will just link to the actions web page, and they can see how many units is delivered and so on. On the capacity of our side, currently it's really just me and Carla, and we plan to involve as many RO as possible, but it is not an immediate action we can put into place. We also have technical limitations, which means the database does not allow other users to access and extract data yet. So for now on, we do not have a clear time frame. We can only tell you there are the few steps we will go through that Carla has already indicated, that has receiving, the completeness check, come back to city for improvement, and then upload and display this 5-stage. So we can always tell you which stage it is on, and maybe also tell you how many, like a telephone line to say, you are in line, I don't know, 20, you're at the 20th the city I'm going to review. So, but I cannot tell you how long will it take until I finish the other 19 ahead of you. That is so far what I can see realistically. But we will, we start from somewhere, and we have a clear goal, is to serve the city with more conveniency, with a rapid reply. And the better we do our job, maybe the funding opportunity will be more favorable and we can hire more people. So I think it's a long process that we gain the strength while we're doing it. So I am optimistic. I really am, because I think we start with a good place, with a good goal, with a good deed, and we have a process here. We just have less people to really implement this. And so it is a capacity issue that can be remedied, but it's not something that we don't know how to do. And so that's the answer in a nutshell. And to reply, to comment on your comment, first is, currently we cannot connect cities' action to the commitment they made yet, simply because the only link is the sector. So which sector the city conduct action, and which sector in the commitment city plan their commitment to be achieved in. And very often, since the report is not, so the report in commitment and report in target is not done in the same time, not done by the same group of people. If you change the government stuff, it tells completely different stories. And so currently we cannot build that link yet, only because the quality of the report. But we are going to that, it is our goal. Our first by short term, I mean within 3 months, and medium term, I mean this year, and then long term is anything beyond this year. Our short term goal is to first properly categorize actions and target. We're going back to all the reports, as we have changed the target categorization before, and also based on the summary and the supporting document the city submit, the sector might be chosen wrongly, and so by properly locate them, we can find the link. So like initiate or make the link valid. This is the short time goal. And in the midterm goal, we try to connect the city's commitment with their NDC goals. So then we can see cities' contribution to their national government. That is that also need time because cities simply commit in a different type than the national government. If the national government says it's a BA, like a base year scenario or target, or it commit a per capita emission to be reduced, but the city commit in a different type, for example, renewable energy. How to build that link, it's our midterm goal. We hope to have that solution published by COP. But how to link action to goal, it's really so far maybe a long-term goal, simply because we do not know yet how to do it, how to track it. And more importantly, we do not know how to support the local government to set action towards a certain target and maintain it through the changing of head of government, changing of administrative board. That's the comment on the target and action, and the comment on the TAP application form. Maybe someone from your team can make a comparison between the TAP action and our current action to make sure that the city do not duplicate the report. And one important advice I want to give to you is that always provide tutorial material to the city before they report. Our last report ended up with even the status of a TAP action and the financial status, the budget. It's report so randomly and inconsistently that we can see maybe city have a question in understanding the reporting sheet. Then the understanding probably lead to poor quality of report, then it's lead to poor quality of analysis. So if you do it again, please leave more time in train the city, also train the RO to train the cities instead of just collecting massive amount of report itself it's not valid until it is comparable, it contains useful data and can send a message out of it. That's all. even longer than your comment.
Thank you, Cheng.
You're welcome. So anyone else? Okay, I'm really
If
going
there's not any other question, I have another one.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in the beginning of your presentation, you told that the new website and the new cCR database, cities can see their report, they can track, and they can compare. But what I was thinking about the compare element of this is that I don't know if you're planning this or if you already have this. It would be nice if you know these websites where you look for a product and you can click on the stores that you would like the platform to look for you, and then they compare the prices.
Yeah, I know.
So it would be nice if the city could select cities in my region and I could compare my city with the others. I don't know if this is planned or if it's possible.
It is definitely the goal. When I see compare, I also think of some function like that. And currently we realize that by the advanced searching function. So I would know my city's geographic area, I would know my city's population, my city's GDP, and then I can simply search for similar cities, and then I go to check their action, their commitment. Are they similar? So it's fulfilled by searching function.
Okay.
If in your case we have to really recommend city, first of all, when you do the price comparison, price is the only thing you're interested, and the product is the same. For example, you want a flight ticket from Bonn to Beijing, and they all provide the same service. It's to carry you from Bonn to Beijing, and price is the only thing you're interested. But in terms of city, it's more various. So the the product itself, it's city, but how to compare, how do you call two cities similar? Do they have a similar population? Do they have similar GDP? Do they have a similar national government goal in mitigation or adaptation? So the product itself, it's quite it's quite colorful. And the things to compare is also, it's not just price. We're not just compare their ambition. We also want to compare the number of action, the sectors of action, the year the action is reached, the type of actions. There's so many aspects to compare. So we do not know yet uh, uh, who is the one that we ask you to compare based on what principle, and what is the sector you want to compare to. So but as you can see, all the results can be reached by search function now. We are collecting the idea, what is the common part? So since it's all so various, we have to start with asking ourselves, what does city want to compare usually? And who do they want to compare to? Do they usually consider, what do you call a similar city actually?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the per capita GDP? Is that the size? Is that your climate type? Apparently Bonn's climate plan should be very different with Buenos Aires simply
Mm-hmm.
because of the climate type. So their
No,
energy consumption.
I
Yeah,
was
you go
thinking
on.
more in like a metropolitan region. I would like to know how my neighbors are performing, and if they have more ambitious targets than I do, how can I learn from them? How can we build consortia to work together? This kind of thing, you know.
I see.
Yeah, not comparing with cities in another country, or you can also do that, but more in your local context, how my neighbors are doing and how can we work together. Because the boundary of a city, it's there, but they can achieve more ambitious goals if they collaborate, or I don't know.
I see. Actually, so, see that is you want to compare geographic connections that we can easily do by on the map. So you can
Mm-hmm.
zoom into your city and see who is around you, and then by hovering your mouse around them, you will see the number
You
of
will
their
see the
actions.
goals. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So currently they're really just reached by searching function. But if you have any idea that you see your city always compare this, let us know. We can easily build it up.
Okay.
That's a really valid point. Thank you. So I'm going to call on names. I really want to know what Hannah think of this presentation, since you're the only RO representative. So Hannah.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your presentation, first of all.
Thank you for participating.
And I had some question, but it had been explained.
Mhm.
So I have a few concerns that I
Yeah.
want to express. First is the supporting document. All of supporting documents are written in Korean, and we do not believe we can translate it into English, or it's because it's a big volume.
Mm.
Then I understand that when you process the reporting sheet, the supporting documents are also very important. Then I don't know how to.
Can just on that point, could it be possible that since we share you the checking sheet, so you know what we are going to examine in the supporting document? So pretty much, if the target says I will reduce 50% of emission by 2020, we're going into the supporting document and see, oh, target year 2020, good, value 50, good. So since you have the sheet yourself, could you think you can do it for us? So instead, so you will submit the document, and then you will write in your email to say that I have checked the document is written in Korean, but I have checked the point in your reporting sheet, I don't know, from row 11 to row 16, and then we simply believe you.
Then I also need to support the document, even if that is in Korean, yeah?
Yes, better to submit it. It's a transparency issue.
Okay. 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 That's cool. That is
Yeah,
okay.
so we will also add it into our guidance. That's a really good point. If the supporting document is in local language, and maybe that is why in many cases the supporting document is not submitted, because you are
Hmm.
thinking for us that you're thinking you will understand anyway.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Then another language issue. And
Mhm.
I see cities data could be downloaded in different languages, including English and Chinese and Japanese and Arabic, I see, and
Yep.
Espanol, but not Korean. And, and I'm wondering why and then how we could develop it.
I
So,
think my colleague Carla will have uh, yeah, information on that one. About the language translation.
Hi, Hannah. Yes. Well, the translations were that are available now. They were developed for the City Challenge. So, so these were developed with funds from there, and that's why we have limited languages that are translated actually. And yeah, this requires a lot of time and resources. And I don't think that in this year we are foreseeing that we will be translating Korean unless you see any opportunities for doing that in terms of funds.
mm,
Would you like to add anything,
I
Chang, on that?
But it means we do not have the capacity to translate now, but
yeah.
if you can translate for us, Hannah, we are happy to upload them. There is no question about it.
Okay. Oh.
And all the tutorial material I mentioned will be available in English, and if
Mhm.
we have found available and requested by the funding agency, we will translate them, and also
Mhm.
they will all be sent by ROs. You can translate all of
Mhm.
it or part of it as you feel
Okay,
comfortable.
so there's a possibility as
Yes,
we.
absolutely.
Okay, okay. See, then I will get back to you later
Yeah,
on.
wonderful.
All right. Then just one more thing.
Yep.
Very often, the city officers ask us to provide exact date when they registered, because the staff rotations, a lot of staff are rotated and then in short term, so they do not they did not they did not get handed over from the previous officer, so a lot of informations are missing in the air. So when new officer came, they always ask when they registered to cCR in the first place and who did that. I mean, those two questions are always around to me. Always officers ask me those two questions. So if we could put those two informations on the
I
RO,
see.
yeah,
I see on the landing. So first
yeah.
of all, that's the first time I hear it. Then we would like to put it on their own landing page. So after
Oh,
log in, they would see who registered, the email address, and
mm-hmm.
the time of registration. I don't
Yes.
think it's a problem. And
Okay.
second of all, and then when you register as them, the idea is that every person of eClaros, like Hannah, you can use your email address to log in your
Mm-hmm.
landing page to see the overview. And then
Mm-hmm.
there is a Korean office email address is allow you to log in and
Mm-hmm.
as any Korean city. So you can check all the Korean city.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
so then you can log in as individual cities and in their page to see, oh, um, this is the person and this is the exact time. So they can, in a nutshell, they can see it after they log in, and you can see it for them by logging as them.
Okay. Okay. So the exact date, right?
Yes,
The,
that will be the exact date. We
okay.
record this information. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at
Thank
the
you.
moment you can ask us also, we will give you this information.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Sorry that I
Thank you.
forgot that.
Yeah. That is all.
For registration. Okay. So, but I have a few questions to you, as you can see displayed on the page. And what is the best way, do you think, to communicate problems? And for example, when you don't understand a certain field in the reporting sheet, or when we find that the city report need to have more improvement, do you wish to have maybe a monthly webinar or with all ROs, or simply by bilateral communication?
Webinar will be much more efficient.
Okay.
I can say.
Okay. That's I just want to hear RO's opinion.
Yeah,
Then maybe.
because that is the very good point. Because the Korean officers, they cannot contact you directly because of a language barrier. Then
Okay.
it will be much more efficient if I could be more trained. Then I will communicate with the Korean officers directly.
That make a lot of sense. So we will provide this kind of webinar, and then we will cut them into the Q&A videos online. So if you miss any, you can just visit the link. And next question will be, what functions needed for RO landing page? I briefly introduce you the concept already, so you can have an overview. You can download the reporting sheet. You can log in as the city. You mentioned that one data you always check is the registration date and the registration person. This is improvement we will make. And anything else you often asked for, you often need to check?
Well, no further.
It's just okay.
I can remember at the moment, but I can get back to you.
Okay, great. Whenever, yeah, you can just send me an email.
Yes.
And is there any promotional material you might need to when you talk to cities?
Not
For now.
Yeah, not for now. No.
Good. It's okay. What is the common problem you face when helping city report? Like, do they understand the type of action? Why choose this? Why choose that? Do they understand the co-benefit? What does it mean? Have they ever asked you?
They are not interested. That's the problem.
I see. So they just tick something and to complete it.
And officers are not persons who work on cCR by themselves. No, they always outsourcing all those work to other organizations.
I see.
Private organizations, institute. And this institute is the one who works on cCR. So whenever I try to communicate with public officers, they always say they do not know. I need to go to this private institute, and I need to communicate, speak with them. So there is a big gap in Korea.
I see. How do you think they might get more interested? For example, now on their page, if they see blank, like they did not properly report the sector, then you can see it's not presented there. Do you think it could make them care, or do you think it's bad? Yeah.
My plan, the Equally Korea office, we plan to have a workshop on this October. Is it October? OECD Mayors Forum is held on October, right?
I don't know. I'm
Mayors
Googling it.
Forum will be Mayors Forum will be held in October, the end of October in Seoul. Then last year, when we had the Mayors Forum in Seoul, we had a Korean special session and targeting those cities who are interested in compact of mayors. And this year, we plan to have a workshop, invite the all registered cities, I mean the officers, we invite them and then explain them and train them. I mean, that is our plan. I mean, that might be helpful.
Uh-huh.
Because sometimes we normally try to communicate with them through phones, and
Mm,
phones sometimes are not very clear enough. Then
I see.
maybe, yeah, just a one-to-one, and we have a small workshop. Just invite those officers, and then have a training. I mean, that is one of the ideas that we
Okay,
have.
that sounds great, and keep me informed, and I'm very happy to help you prepare materials and
Yeah.
procedures and yeah,
Mhm.
everything.
Thank
Great. Thank you very much, and we are just in time. And
you.
so the last call. Anyone want to express your mind, questions, concerns? Okay, we will have the same webinar again today at 5 p.m. the European time. We will also provide a record of this webinar and all the materials to you.
Mhm.
So
Thank
looking forward to listen to you again in the next
you.
webinar.
Mhm.
We hope to do it more and more often.
Yeah.
And thank you again for your precious time. So,
Mhm.
so
Thank
let's,
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jan.
thank you. Have a
you.
nice day ahead.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye
I have a
bye.
question. I see Miriam.
Miriam, just say thank you.
Oh, all right.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Have a nice day.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Good. Thank you, Pedro. We can close it.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
End webinar for